Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuning into the session. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
We have our girl Jasmine Solano in the mother loving building.
Yes, we do.
Yay.
I'm doing my own applause.
Yes. And I have my co-host over here, D.
Hey,
What up?
what's good? How y'all doing?
We all right. Feeling good. We feeling good. Jasmine, we're so happy to have you here.
You guys already seem like my new BFFs.
Oh yes,
Don't get
crew
me hyped.
love.
Don't get me hyped.
You're from Miami
already.
And where are you from?
San Diego.
Okay.
She's from the West.
Yeah, on West Coast all day.
But you got the chill vibes.
Yes.
Miami got the lit vibes.
You already
Yes.
know.
And then I'm coming from New York.
Okay.
So we got the cool. So
Yeah,
it's
we got it all
like
covered.
crazy, sexy, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
So, Jasmine, the show is about, having women talk about their journey and what they've been through. And you are in a male-dominated industry,
Yeah.
a female DJ. How did you get your start? How was the beginning phases? How did you get the money to buy the equipment? Because we know that's expensive. Like, let us know for inspiring female DJs, like, what's the move? How to move in this business.
Well, that's funny because that could be like another 2-hour course. I actually teach young women like how to DJ. I do like private lessons and the first time I sit them down, we talk for an hour and we just talk. And I get to know why they want to DJ, where they're kind of coming from with it. And then some of the first things I tell them is watch the movie Scratch, which is it's a movie about DJing. And I tell them about a couple books they can read, and I'm like, watch The Get Down, just to kind of, because I started DJing when I was 17. I bought my first pair of Techniques when I was 18. I worked an entire year to pay for them.
I believe you.
And I bought them from the guy that taught me about scratching and about turntablism when I was 15. So this was a fascination I had from a really, really young age. And therefore it's a craft that's very close to my heart. And so when anyone is like, I want to get into DJing, I'm like, great, learn the history, learn just where it came from, because you obviously have an interest in it for a lot of the reasons of why it's so special, and just learn the craft. And then I say, practice. So again, I started DJing on the radio in Boston, even though I'm from Philly, when I was 17. And so DJing, being on the radio, which you guys know all about, got this relationship for hosting and connecting with people, and then DJing out. And so I guess from doing it from a really young age, it gave me the time to get good. And by the time I was DJing in the clubs in New York after I was in Boston, then at that point everything was ready to take off and kind of move and groove. As far as a male dominated industry, I mean, for one, it definitely helped that I was always a little bit of a tomboy, always one of the boys, always wanted to compete with the boys, just kind of on this like feminist tip, like there's no way you're not going to respect me, or you're not going to look at me as an equal, or I'm going to tear you up, at the club. Like I'm not going to beat anyone up, but put it
in the mix.
Yeah, that's just always been a little fiery part of me since I was really young. But, I think someone asked me this question and I answered for the first time with this answer. And I think I'm learning this about myself, is that I think I balance male and feminine energy pretty well. So like on one hand, I'm very empathetic. I like to take care of people. I like to make sure people feel really good and feel understood. And then on the other side, I'm pretty aggressive and stern about my business and what my worth is and how people are going to act accordingly. And so I think in terms of females working in male-dominated fields, even though there's so many double standards, and we're still dealing with today, which is finally coming to the forefront, that women get paid less for equal jobs. Women, you could be twice as good at a role
and working twice as hard
and still not get the job to someone underqualified compared to you. And so there's a lot of double standards that we still have to hurdle over. But I think that, it starts with knowing who you are and knowing how you're going to talk to people and how people are not going to talk to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and it's always a balance, which I don't know if that's fair or not, but the balance is, trying to be kind and polite, but at the same time not getting taken advantage of.
Yep.
And it's a talent that women have naturally, but we're forced to ignite it every second if you are to compete in a lot of these industries that are male dominated right now.
And do you think a lot of that comes with time, like just being in situations and kind of like growing with each situation and taking things, like what are some of the things that you've taken from your interactions with within those situations?
Absolutely. There were moments, I've been on tour with major artists before where I was the only girl on the tour bus for 5 months.
Yikes, how was that experience? I want to know about it because I know the bus
I'm just staring and I'm getting it in my mind. I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling that.
I know the bus was probably stank up in there.
Right.
You saw some wild shit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that was,
they try to hit on you too. I'm sure
everything.
Okay.
And it was boot camp, and it's a mix between experience and guidance.
Okay.
So when you go through the experience, you learn the hard way. You learn trial and error. Sometimes that's the only way you're going to learn, right? And then the second part is guidance. If there can be people either in your life, whether it's your family, your friends, mentors, who are like, you don't have to go that route, or you don't have to take that, however they just treated you or whatever they said to you, you don't have to take that. It helps if you have both, but a lot of people just go through trial and error, and you're always in a situation where you're like, this doesn't feel right. But in the moment, I'm not going to react because I want to think. There's so many of those moments. And then as you go through, more experiences, yes, you get like the tougher skin, you get wiser, you learn about all different kinds of people. So I'm always a fan of just throwing yourself into a situation and learning, because you're gonna survive, you're gonna be fine. But mentally take notes. Did that make sense?
Yeah, no, that made total sense.
You was preaching, girl.
Right.
Preach.
Girl,
That's
don't
so
get me drunk in the club with the microphone.
Oh, because it's going down.
I turn into like the gospel version of Funk Flex. And this is like, oh my God. It's semi-embarrassing, semi-hilarious. But we could talk about that.
Oh, there's a space for that in radio and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you started United in Color, right?
Yeah, Unity in Color.
Oh, it's Unity in Color.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us about that movement. Like I saw it on Instagram and I was like, yes, yes, and yes.
Right.
So it's so funny, right? Because of all the ideas I have, which are so methodical, and I'm always doing the marketing for me and my duo, Electric Punani, and yada, yada, yada. Unity in Color, I think it was like January 5th, and I was like, I have an idea. I'm like, I want to just take a photo of all the badass women that I love in LA. And I'm bi-coastal, so I'm between New York and LA right now, and I happen to be in LA for most of January. And I'm like, I just want to take this photo, and it's going to be, we're going to post it on Inauguration Day as prep for the Million Women March, just to show solidarity. And then that idea evolved within 1 week.
Wow.
Because I've just been spending a lot of months studying like the history of feminism and what feminism is today, and just everything that's been going on politically. And I've joined a couple political women's groups, and it's just been all on my mind so much. And so I wanted to incorporate some of that into the shoot, but not to an amount that would alienate your everyday person. So I decided, let's all wear a gradient, because it'll just look like we're a team. It'll look like a uniform. It'll look really beautiful. I'm like, let's do yellow, tan, or gold, because in the early feminist movements, they would wear the yellow sash, or they'd have the yellow rose, or they'd have the gold and the white. And so I'm like, it's an ode to early feminism, but this is what feminism looks like today. And every race, every person from every background, and specifically women in this shoot, this is what it looks like. We represent, people standing together in solidarity for women's rights. So we take this bomb ass photo.
Yeah, it was nice. I was
Right.
like, this is cute.
All the
I wanted to be there.
and that's what I'm like, at its very least, it's a beautiful photo of all different types of women, that all types of women of color are represented, which is a critique for a lot of people with feminism today, that women of color are not inclusive. And so this was a way to show what that looks like visually. And what happened is we post this photo, and then within 1 week, I have people hitting me from everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to make a website so that this is a hub, and we're going to have it be a series, and there's going to be all kinds of photos. And now we have different people producing their own shoot in their own city. There's one in Miami happening, so I'll talk to you about that. Oh, and then there's one in San Diego that's going to go down. But now it's in 8 different cities in the U.S. and 3 different cities worldwide. So, and this is, I mean, it hasn't even been a month.
Right.
So, I'm just letting it, there's no rules here. Like, there's no brands attached to this. This is not for money. This is just something that I really wanted to do to make me feel good. And now what's cool is that I can kind of get on the phone with other hosts and be like, cool, these are some tips to how I did my shoot. Go do your shoot. I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to produce it. You connect with your community. You connect with the local people. You make it happen. Bring your community together.
Okay.
And there's going to be some women there and we're going to do a series with all men. We're going to do a series with families. So it's not just going to be women, but at this point, it's like, this is a catalyst for people to start a conversation. Maybe there's someone who's like, I was never really into politics, and I don't really care too much, but I just feel like helpless, or I feel sad, and where can I start?
Yeah.
And here it's like express yourself in a crazy yellow, tan, or gold outfit. Go as ham as you want, and just come together, and then we just talk. And it's a starting point that's easy, it's universal, and it's welcoming, and it's pro women versus anti something,
right?
Which is fine as well, but that anti this and that, even though it is a real emotion and a real opinion, I don't feel like it gets us as far as being like pro.
Right.
Oh, totally. There's so many conversations that happen on Twitter and they just go nowhere because they're like anti something. But then it's like, okay, well, where's the real value here? Are we really pushing our message forward? And people get lost in that,
Absolutely.
And it sucks. But.
And, Twitter is like the toilet for your brain. Mm-hmm. So you can just shit out whatever you're thinking.
Real shit.
And unfortunately, people take that as facts, or they take everything personal. And again, it's like it's tough because like you said, it doesn't lead to too much action, or it doesn't lead to people necessarily coming together. Not all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes social media does wonders. And look at Unity in Color. If you saw it on Instagram, then you probably had a reaction, but at least it's positive,
Right. At the end of the
day. She's wearing a yellow right now.
Yes.
She's ready to shoot.
Electric yellow.
Hey. So if women want to get involved in it, they'll go on the website and it'll have all the instructions, the details of how to move about it. So what's the name of the website? unityincolor.org. And when you click on how to do a shoot in your town, it literally goes straight to me. Oh, that's cool.
Right.
So we'll talk. I'm down to chat.
Oh, that's awesome. So they have a personal connection with you on Impact. That's perfect.
And it's above all the bullshit. Like, being an artist and being in this industry for so long, like I know all the smoke and mirrors, and there's a ton of them. It's part of entertainment, at least till, at least now. But and this is like so beyond that. This is about humanity. This is about women supporting our rights worldwide. This is so much bigger than all the fluff. So I'm down to talk to anyone, even if they're a little crazy. It's okay.
Hey, you said everywhere.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay, early starts, you started in New York, kind of had a production company doing music videos, and you were working like full 14-hour days. Is there 12-hour days?
Girl, 14-hour days.
14-hour days. So do you still kind of have that same kind of structured lifestyle, or like where do you find the balance in between to live life?
The question is, do you sleep now?
Yeah. Like what's living,
It goes in ups and downs. Like in the fall, there was a month where I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything. This is crazy. My what's going on? My life needs to be busier. And then literally like December 28th until now has been 12-hour days. Like nonstop. I took my first nap like last Sunday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
In I think like 30 days.
No
So you
way.
just do it.
Yeah.
You just go with it.
There was 1 week where, I flew to Boston to DJ, then New York, then New Hampshire, then back to LA. And this was all like in 7 days. And yeah, there's just a lot going on right now, which is beautiful. But yeah, it fluctuates, but I'm definitely prone to the 12-hour day lifestyle, which is a little nuts. But I right now I'm working on so many projects, and so I have to manage everything. And I'm excited about it.
I was just about to say, that's the key.
Right.
Do it.
Yeah.
When you're excited about what you're doing and you're passionate about it, you don't mind staying up 12
Right.
hours or 16 hours because you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
That's
And you're
the
like,
goal.
oh, it's two.
Yeah, right. Like, I
2 in the
need
morning.
to eat. Or
Right.
I need to go to sleep. I didn't even realize the time.
The session where queens unite to share their light.